Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross, broadcast live from the Gorilla Cross studio in downtown Las Vegas. I'm your host, Quan59, and it's been a while. I haven't been on this channel in a while. I do so much stuff, and you see the studio, so I've been building up in here, doing different things, so
yes, sir.
It's been doing a lot this year that has nothing to do with me doing content. But that's changing. Actually starting a new podcast that I'll be talking about later on the show as well with a UFC fighter that I'm pretty sure I could beat. But we will talk about that. But today is special because I got my boy in town. And
yes,
anytime he's in town, he hits me up and has to get on and get in the studio.
Yeah.
And he's been on, like, you know, he'll Skype in and Zoom in and stuff like that every once in a while. But when he's in town, we definitely have to get on the mic in the studio.
Yes, sir.
My man Mark Jones in the building, all the way from Dallas, Texas.
What's good, sir?
Via Chicago.
Via
Vegas.
This is like, you know,
I just had to mention Chicago because sports, you're going to be talking a lot of Chicago, and they're going to be like, but he's from Dallas. Why is he talking about Chicago?
No, let's not get it twisted. We can talk Dallas. I mean, it's not much going on, but we can talk it.
Yeah, but you're just not a Dallas sports fan.
I'm
Do you
by
try
proxy.
to be?
No, like, come on now. Come on. I rep, you know. I rep all things.
Nah, bro.
I rep all things Chicago and Vegas, you know, shout out. But it's, you know, with what I do for a living, it pays to pay attention to the Cowboys and the Rangers. And low key, if there's a team that I am claiming in Dallas, like that I root for, I'm like, cool, it would be the Texas Rangers. I rock the Rangers, you know. They've, again, being there when they won the championship, it was one of those things that it was crazy to experience. So, and then my lovely wife, who I'm here with, and shout out to my baby, Jen. Shout out to the anniversary weekend. Hey, 8 years in them thing. Quick 8 years.
8, dang.
8 quick ones.
You still like him? Yeah,
she gave me the.
It was a little nod.
A little nod. You know, it is what it is. You know, my approval rating is.
It's up there a little bit.
It's up there. You know, so 8 of them things in here, and so shout out. But yeah, no, but because of her, you know, I got to keep an eye on the Rangers and the Cowboys. That's where we disagree. Like, so you know, when the Cowboys and the Bears played this year, she didn't want no part of having that conversation because.
Was that in Chicago or
that
Dallas?
was in Chicago.
Okay. So you didn't get to go to the game.
Nah. Here's the thing about it, Quan. And one day when we get, you know, when Gorilla Studios Part 2's opened up,
yeah,
you know what I mean? We'll get a chance to hopefully go to the Cowboy Stadium. But here's the dirty secret about the Cowboy Stadium. The Cowboys are never the home team. And what I mean by that is generally when you have popular teams, like the Steelers, 49ers, shout out to Bang Bang Niner Gang, right? They travel so well that they like just take over the stadium. So the Cowboys are at a disadvantage in their own stadium.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was, you know, it was a great game. You know, the Bears did their thing, and then, you know, Cowboys didn't make the playoffs this year. But I'm not here to rub that in because, again, this is an anniversary weekend.
Yeah, don't do that. Be nice. But Cowboys miss the playoffs a lot. So it's not like they're not used to missing the playoffs.
Right. So,
and then when they do make the playoffs, they play the 49ers and lose. So, you know.
Or the Packers. Or the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't care about that one.
No.
When they lose to the 49ers, it's pretty cool.
Hey.
But
you know what's crazy? Here's let's put this in context. So we've been rocking for what? Almost. The crazy thing is, I'm about to probably make us really feel old, outside the graves that we were talking about and everything, right? We've been rocking, me and you, for almost 30 years. It was like 01 was when I got introduced to you. 02 was yeah, because I was out here in 02, bro. I moved out here in 02. Actually, end of 02, November of 02, bro. November of 02. So we go back 24 years? Almost.
Nah, bro. Before that. You were out here before that.
No. Well, I came out, yes.
Nah, bro. Listen, because I already knew you for a little bit of time.
Before I moved out.
Because when I met your boy Jason. I met him the night we went to go see Phantom Menace. Or was that a different? No, it wasn't Phantom Menace.
No, it was
the
shout out to
second
Jay
one.
Golf, by the way.
It was the second.
It was the third one. We went to go see Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Because let me make you feel even more old, right? Because you know what that was? That was a month after Trey was born. Trey is about to be 21 next in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a little over 20 years.
We went over 20 years we've been rocking together. Yeah. So
because I still remember that because I don't think Jason had ever seen a Star Wars movie. And so we went opening night, and that's when opening night didn't start at 2 in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
It started at midnight.
Yep.
And so we went, and Jason saw all the people dressed up.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little scared. I think.
You know, it's funny when on his podcast that he's got on the Ringer. Shout out to Jason. Who's doing
which one, man?
The man has.
Do you know? I didn't even know he was on Amazon, but now I watch the show all the time because when I just turn on my Amazon TVs, it just automatically pops up half the time.
Yeah. Jason, listen.
Pretty dope to see him doing that.
Yeah, Jason is what you call. You know as well as I do, Quan, in this business. In big business, small business, however you want to call media, sports media in general, to get to 2+ decades in it is crazy. That's a crazy run at Jay's on. He's only ascending. But yes, that boy's got so many jobs. But I was talking about that. I remember I had him on. I either called his podcast and left him a voicemail to talk about it early on because he's on like episode 6 something now with the Full Go podcast. And so he talked about how, him coming out to Vegas, it was during a time where he was a producer at the sports radio station in Chicago, and he was kind of climbing the ranks, but kind of hitting that proverbial glass ceiling. And I was, we just had Trey, and there was just health stuff going on. So he came out just to kick it. And he's thinking, yeah, we're going to go out, be on the strip. We're going to be going clubs and stuff. Nah, you coming to Vegas to watch Star Wars, bro. And so shout out to Jay. It's just a testament to the people that we meet in this business. And Jason's Jason, outside of being our friend, Jason is one of my favorite sports content creators because Jason is authentically him. Like there's no what you like.
And he's always been that from the beginning.
From the beginning,
he hasn't changed.
Not at all. And he's he's so we know we've been talking sports since we've known each other, and we know there's difference between talking sports and then can dissect the smallest things. And Jay's sports mind is very. I hold him in high regard, not just because he's my friend, because I consume mostly sports stuff.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jay Golf. Shout out to what he's doing, and if you haven't checked him out, please check him out on the Full Go podcast and on the Ringer and everywhere. This man is everywhere. You see him pop up on. It's crazy, I was at work. I'll tell you this quick story. I was at work, right, and a guy was. Watching on ESPN, not ESPN, he was watching something on his phone. It was Bomani Jones' show. And I was like, oh, that's my guy Jason. He was like, you don't know Jason. I was like, I don't? Because I literally had just texted him. I was like, I just text Jay. He's like, you really know? I was like, yeah.
That's funny.
It's like I literally used to, I used to be my teammate back in the day. So as far as back in sports Jones. Being on
there used to be some personalities back in the day on ESPN. Now they have one that no one likes. But anyways, listen, man, if you guys are watching live, please share the live video stream. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and give us your opinions on the things we're going to talk about. Because everything I say is going to be facts. I'm not sure if everything Mark says is going to be facts.
Probably
but,
not for me.
All my opinions are right. So, Desmond, what's up, bro?
Hey, baby brother in the building.
Yeah, shout out to Big Mitch in the building also. Nothing Held Back podcast. It's Cowboys Suck, which they are correct.
Here's the thing about Cowboys. The Cowboy, I actually feel like the regular schmegular Cowboy fan that gets it. You know what I mean? Like that's not like, oh, the Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl
There's
every
no
year.
such thing.
No, there's actually some common sense.
You might have met a couple, but you have to dig in the depths of Dallas. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know where you find them at.
They're more. It's much like anything, and take it for what it's worth. But the loudest ones aren't always the ones that's real. Like there are more sensible Cowboy fans than the think that every year is their God-given. They're still America's team. They haven't been America's team for 30 years. Speaking of Dez, here's a crazy fact. The Cowboys haven't been relevant Dez's entire life. Dez is about to be 30. He either is 34 or is about to be 34. That's crazy. They've not been relevant. No Super Bowls. He's only seen them miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
not even the NFC championships.
No.
Nothing.
No. But again, I don't want to turn this into a Cowboy diss fest because again, I sleep next to a Cowboy fan.
It's easy to do. You could have a 10-hour show on that.
I mean, really. But again, I like to, I want to make it to year 9, so I'm gonna get off the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because
a lot happening in the NFL. It's it opened up to free agency.
Yeah.
And okay, go ahead. Yeah, we can start with my Niners. Mike Evans signs with the Niners. We got him pretty cheap.
Yeah.
For a vet, wide receiver that we definitely needed. Getting rid of Brandon Ayuk, I think he's still there, but going to release him at any moment.
Post June 1 cut, you think? Or do you think it's going to be a trade?
I don't think anybody's going to trade for him.
Yeah, then probably.
I think his name is just kind of in the mud right now. I don't know if it's all his fault. I think 49ers might have had a little bit to do with that, but at the same time, he didn't do anything to help himself.
No,
after the fact, looking a little bipolar on, speeding past the stadium, going 110, holding ice cream in his hand a couple weeks ago, and just on live, not saying a word, just letting the ice cream melt on his hand. I mean, you're not helping your case.
No, not at all.
And you're messing up your bag. So the Brandon Ayuk situation is pretty much over, which I was to the point when we were trying to sign him 2 years ago of just let him go. Like, if he's not agreeing on the money, you just got to let him go. He comes back, ends up getting hurt. But Mike Evans, let's move on. Mike Evans, big pickup from Tampa Bay.
Solid.
A lot of people, I thought he was going to end up staying in Tampa Bay. Like, why wouldn't you want to finish out your career there? They're just a very average team, though, and I think that's why he hasn't won the Super Bowl.
He's won one, yeah.
But he wants to win more, and I think at the end of his career, which he probably has 3 or 4 years left, he wants to win, and he wants to be in winning situations.
Yep.
I think looking at Tampa, they can be in the same situation. They're the type of team that doesn't improve but doesn't get worse either. They just kind of stay where they're at, and I think that's where they were going to be again next year, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And with him going to 49ers, he has a chance. He knows he's going to be wide receiver number 1. When you look down the list, Juwan Jennings, if they kept him, wasn't going to be wide receiver number 1, and probably not even going to be kept. And no one's even really looking at him to sign. And then
I like Juwan Jennings.
I like him. He's not a wide receiver number 1, though.
No.
And then Ricky Pearsall, he played better when he got shot and played more. And, last year he was just hurt all the time. He'd come back for 1 or 2 games, look good, and then be out for 4 games. So he's not reliable.
Yep.
And I still don't think he's a wide receiver number 1 yet. I think he needs a couple years behind someone like Mike Evans, to be wide receiver number 1 in the future if he ever does become that. But I think this takes some pressure off of him to not have to try to fill that role.
Yeah.
And now he can just kind of be what he is. So what's your thoughts on Mike Evans? He missed half the season last year, but other than that, he's been pretty healthy.
He's been the poster boy for consistency in his career as a wide receiver. I heard, again, we talked about Jason. One of Jason's famous sayings is you have to have a professional in the room.
Yeah.
And for a professional in the locker room, and particularly at that position with the wide receiver. Like you said, you have a Ricky Pearsall. The 49ers are probably going to invest at the wide receiver in the draft. So you're going to need to lean on. I mean, what better person to lean on than a Mike Evans?
Yeah.
So and also it gives Brock Purdy or Mac Jones a big, reliable target that's consistent. Yes, he's coming off an injury for his first time in his career, but if you're looking at it from a 50-foot view, he that's a one-off. So new system. And again, Mike Shanahan.
And you're looking at about $16 million a year. So if he has a bad year and you end up cutting him, if it's just like horrible.
Right. Is it a 1-year deal or 2-year deal?
It's 3 year.
3 years?
3-year deal, but you know how football contracts are. They're not all guaranteed. I think it was 60. I think it was 60 million, something like that total. But
how
incentives and
how much was guaranteed?
Exactly.
That's the number.
It really wasn't a lot. He probably could have made a lot more money if he went anywhere else.
Yeah. So for him to pick that says, like you said, it goes back to your point. That is let's keep it a buck. The 49ers, if they were not had the injuries that they had going into the season or going toward the end of the season, because it's all about when you get to the playoffs, who's healthy, who's on that momentum going, and just the 49ers on the wrong side of that.
But the fact they made it to the playoffs, being hurt all year, missing their quarterback half the year, missing wide receivers, missing tight ends, you had people stepping up. So what this creates now with what 49ers had to do last year with playing a lot of their young players, minutes they didn't necessarily think they were going to play.
Right.
Now they have depth.
Yep.
So now those young players who started a lot last year are going to be coming off the bench, are going to be coming in if there's some injuries, be able to give some of these guys breaks. So that just benefited what 49ers could be doing coming into this year. We gave Greenlaw back from Denver. Denver cuts Greenlaw. We were trying to sign him last year. He wanted too much money. We had to let him go. Denver signs him to a lot of money. We get him back this year for $7.5 million for a year.
Steal.
That's making Fred Warner happy. That's putting, and we already got D. Winter. We have Bethune who played really well. So we have backup linebackers now that are really good. Getting Nick Bosa back. Let me see if we've signed him yet. But Nick's brother seems to be coming to the 49ers in Joey Bosa. So that's been the rumor the last couple days.
Bosa boys.
And we restructured Nick's contract this morning.
Oh, so there's a move coming.
For some moves. And, they've wanted to play together. And I think it's going to finally happen, even if it's just for the year.
Listen, the 49ers, again, one of the things that you have to look at, and I look at the 49ers, and I kind of, from my Chicago lens, I look at the 49ers and kind of want to be that, where your most key critical thing is having the head coach in place who is a genius.
Yeah.
There's Mike Shanahan. There's a handful of them. Mike Shanahan, Sean McVay, Ben Johnson, and again, probably is eking in that territory as well. But if you have that head coach right, you have the genius right, everything else, even in bad years, they still find a way.
Yeah.
And that's where, the great thing about San Francisco. So when people were getting beside themselves after they lost the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they're just like, I was like, Mike Shanahan, you can't get rid of that guy. That guy is where can you go if you only get rid of someone if you can go up.
Yeah.
You're already here at the level of a coach, of a great coach. So just give it some time. Yeah. And again,
and we saw that with Andy Reid, right? Like it was forever that it's like, man, why are you guys keeping him around when he's not winning? And he finally got Philly to the Super Bowl, goes to Kansas City and starts winning, and now he's labeled one of the greatest coaches of all time.
All time.
When there was time where you could have easily got rid of him and been like, nah, he's not winning. He's getting close every year and not doing it. But it's like, if you have a coach that's getting close every year, even if they never go over the top, they're still a great coach.
Yeah.
Because they're getting you close enough. And there's 49er frustrations with Shanahan. Like I see sometimes in the fourth quarter, like the play calling slows down. He tries to get too safe and we end up losing games. But overall, it's like, who else you going to get that's going to do better, and the players love playing with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you can command, being a coach, you have to command the room. And you have to, and that's how you get players to, let's just face it, some of those players go anywhere else are not going to contribute the way they would in that system.
Yeah.
But that all comes back down to the head coach, right? So, no, and there's always going to be frustrations. And the thing about it is, another Jasonism, the things that'll make you laugh will make you cry. The things that you like about Mike Shanahan or Ben Johnson are going to be the things that are going to get you upset about him too.
Yeah.
But you have to ride with it because of the end result. You look where you're at. You're in the playoffs. You just want a shot at get to the playoffs. All bets are off at that point in time because you just don't know what's going to happen, except for NBA.
Other Niner news moves before we move on to all the other teams that I don't care about. They traded for Osa. I don't know how to say his last name, from the Cowboys for a 3rd-round pick.
That was a solid move.
Huge move.
That was a really. I was as a Chicago fan, I was like, ooh, because we're missing the interior, and that would have been a perfect. That penetrating defensive tackle.
And I'm not sure if people knew they can get him for a 3rd-round pick. I think if they knew that, more people would be going after him. And so we've made some trades like that with Cowboys before in the past, and it kind of surprises me that a rival team, would trade so willingly with us and get fleeced. But I appreciate it.
It's the Cowboys.
We re-signed Eddie Pinheiro, who came in last year and was great. And I don't even know how he was not on a team last year when we gave up on he went to your team. He's horrible. I don't remember his name.
No. He's actually on Engel's team. He's on Washington.
But he was on your team.
He was on our team because our kicker got
went
hurt.
From our team to your team, and then went to
Kate was it Cade? No, not Cade York. I forgot his name. But yes, he was a big leg kicker.
I can't remember his name.
He's a big leg kicker. But here's the thing: we had Eddie Pinheiro a couple years ago too. The thing about Eddie Pinheiro, huge, big time leg, struggle with accuracy, and then what your kickers. What I hear former NFL players say, they want their special teamers to do their job, be quiet, not come with ego, not come. You're not, and there was from what I heard, is that wasn't always the same with Eddie, but Eddie got consistent and got another shot, and hey, it was a great find by San Francisco. But the former kicker that was in San Francisco that went to the Bears, now is in over to Washington.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
But I mean, he was huge for us. He really didn't miss at all.
Yeah.
So he was killing it. And the biggest thing the issue coming in was he can't kick past 50. And he started making a lot of kicks past 50, which I think they were saying was his only weakness because he's one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. Jake Moody, thank you. I forgot his name so bad because I used his name as a cuss word for so long.
Listen,
but
that dude was I thought he was going to be coming out, I think LSU,
Michigan,
or was it Michigan? Yeah. Michigan. He was automatic. So for him to have struggled the way he did, So
I went to his rookie season, went to a preseason game against the Raiders. He missed his first field goal and an extra point, and from there I didn't like him, and I'm like, what's this guy doing? It's preseason. He's missing the 30-yard field goal, and he just was always. It was scary watching him, and when your kicker goes up there, you should be surprised that he misses, right?
Yeah.
It should be like, oh my gosh, like I went to get a snack because I knew he was going to make the extra point or the 35-yard field goal.
Right.
So you could walk away from the TV. With him, it's like stressful, dude. I was getting anxiety watching him kick, and he would miss 25-yard field goals, and you don't want that with a kicker.
Yeah, no. Shout out to what was it, Bears kicker, the double doink kicker.
Ooh,
yeah.
That was bad.
When you have kickers that give you that, that's when it's time to cut bait. Like it's your only job. Like defensive tackle, defensive end, other position players. That you're going up there. You're going to win and lose some, but the most critical thing is to have your special teams in order. So my question to you though, what's going on with Trent Williams, dog?
They're going to sign. I mean, I think that was part of Bosa's contract restructuring.
Okay,
was for Trent. He's not going. He doesn't want to go anywhere. They don't want to lose him.
Listen,
he's not going anywhere.
Can we talk a deal? You think me and you could work out a deal? We could talk to San Francisco and the Bears.
You got nothing to give.
We got draft picks.
We don't want draft picks.
Okay. All right.
We're winning this year. We don't.
Okay. I just wanted to know, man.
We're going back to back.
Okay.
We did get another offensive tackle, Vidarian Lowe, from the Patriots. 2-year, $12 million contract. That was a good pickup.
Nice depth.
We needed some offensive line, and Nate Hobbs, cornerback, on a 1-year deal. This is a cheap deal, and I think it's a deal that I actually like it a lot because he can be really good. He wasn't very good last year. He had some good games, but struggled a little bit. But I like him a lot, and I think he has the potential. He's still young. I think he's 25 or 26. He still has the potential under the right defense, the right coaches, to be really good. And I think on a contract year, only making 4.5, you want somewhat of a bigger contract after that. So I think he could have a big year.
I think what I've noticed with this offseason is the fact that some of these cornerbacks or second tier players, right? Not the day one go off the board free agency. They got a lot of their deals were 1 year prove it deals.
A lot of prove it deals this year.
A lot of prove it deals this year. And I mean, think about this. Hobbs got $1 million less than Deshaun Wright, who was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Who signed with the Jets. Good luck with that, by the way.
Can you just send the Jets to the CFL?
I mean, listen.
They wouldn't even win the CFL championship.
Could they beat Alabama? Could they beat Georgia? Could they beat Ohio State?
Who's their quarterback? Could. Oh, Geno Smith? No.
Well, you got that up close and personal right here. Like, here's the thing.
Went to one of his last games against the Giants and hearing him get booed, and he ended up getting pulled that game for Kenny Pickett.
Let me ask you this: that game against the Bears, was that a Vegas flu game for him? Because I never seen a quarterback like from the distance from me to you could not hit a receiver.
I mean, he was like that all year. You saw it because you're watching the game closer.
It just did not.
It was two things. The O-line was horrible, so they were getting to him quick. But at the same time, his decision making just didn't make sense. I went to the first game of the season, their Monday Night Football game, and the very first play was him throwing an interception. So that showed what the whole season was going to be right when that happened, because the excitement in the crowd, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Week one, you never know. We didn't expect Patriots going to the Super Bowl. So every team has an opportunity, right, to go to the Super Bowl. Yep. You have faith in your team.
Hope
if they start off hot, we didn't expect the Colts to be 9-0 or whatever they were to start the season and then go 0-9, whatever they did. But the hype in the crowd was so dope. And, it's the first game. It's Monday Night Football. And the first play of the game, he throws the interception. And that was the whole season right there. And you could feel the whole crowd. You could tell their season was done with the first play of the season, like that.
Which is wild, because I've lived that life as a Bears fan for entirely too long up until now. But Geno Smith is one of those cats that you remember the promise when he came in as far as the potential when he was drafted by the Jets.
Yep.
And then he kind of, muddled around, was just being a free agent and whatnot. And then he had the resurrection, so to speak, in Seattle. You're like, okay, He finally figured it out. And now to have these steps back is kind of crazy. So, I mean, shout out to him. Hopefully
I think he was highly overrated when Raiders got him. I'm like, I watch Seattle games a lot because they're in the division.
Right.
He had that one good year, which was actually that half year. He beats Denver, beats Russell Wilson on Monday Night Football. You hear his speech afterwards. And then from there, he had a good season, right? Mm-hmm. After that, he was okay. He wasn't anything to be like, okay, cool, we need to sign him as a free agent. I thought it was bad for the Raiders to do that anyways. But now, Raiders are going to get a great, hopefully, quarterback in the draft. I like him. I think he's going to be really good. But they do need to sign a vet, which Kirk Cousins might be that guy that signs out here in Vegas. So we'll see what they do there. But let's move on to the Raiders more since we're already talking about them.
Let's
Max. And with Geno going to New York, they traded to get him, which is wild.
Right. Yeah.
Raiders were going to release him. You could have picked him up. They traded.
Yeah. Most teams, when you hear the words, you're allowed to go. So such and such player is allowed to go look for another deal. That's code for we're about to release you in 4 days.
Yeah.
And for the Jets to go. I mean,
it's Jets being the Jets.
Exactly.
There's nothing else you can say about that franchise.
But there are other big news was going on in Vegas. Max Crosby, the trade and then the not trade.
Here's the cool thing about this is they traded him, and I was upset because, it's Vegas. I want him to be here. The picture didn't look right. I'm like, this does not look right, him in the Ravens jersey, which it never looks right when a franchise face goes somewhere else. But I'm like, man, that just doesn't look right. Then Raiders make a whole bunch of really good moves. And I'm like, yo, these defensive moves, these would be great moves if they still had Max Crosby. Like maybe, you'd have a playoff chance, but you're making these moves, but you just got rid of one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah.
And then a day later comes back home like, hey, I'm sorry I left you, but I'm back. The other girl didn't really want me.
Yep. That's what it felt like. That's what it really felt like. It felt like.
But here's the thing. Even when he was leaving, he was like upset. He's like, man, once a Raider, always a Raider. I plan on coming back. Like, I could see myself coming back to retire as a Raider. So maybe play the last year of his career as a Raider. So it didn't look like he wanted to leave. I think he was upset with the team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turmoil there. They weren't making moves.
He's that guy that doesn't want to come out. Like he's a guy that you hate going up against in practice.
Yeah.
Because, hey, dude, we're going through this is walkthroughs, and this guy's going 110 miles per hour like it's the last play of a Super Bowl game. That's Max Crosby. So for him to be told we're going to shelve you last season, that for and I mean this in the most respectful way, a warrior type player, that's an insult. That's a slap in the face. So that's where he was like, I don't want any part of this. And so,
but they also knew he needed surgery. So it's something where it's smart for them to do that.
Absolutely. But it's just like some of the things that we're always told. And I say it now to my students, or I say it to my kids. It's not always what you say, but it's how you say it. How is the message being received? And so the message that was sent to him, and somewhere along the way, obviously we weren't there.
Yeah,
it just wasn't received very well, and that's where it got where it got. But it's all as well as ends well, because
it not received well because the team was so bad and there was so much turmoil. I think there was just a lot of that going on too, right? And if you're playing so hard and you see the team like not improving every year, it's you're gonna want to go, but. Yeah. I think with him coming back, he does look at the moves they make and be like, all right, cool, I can deal with this, right? Even on offense, I think their offense got a little bit better. They got one of the best centers in the league.
I argue
probably the best center,
especially at this age.
That's huge, right? That's huge, especially for a young quarterback coming in.
And got paid.
Yeah, got paid. I mean,
it was.
If you're the best of your position, you should get paid.
Yeah, but no, we were thinking $20 million because the Creed Humphrey, I think, set the mark at 18. So people were saying 20, 22, and people were like saying 25. Like, oh, he's not going to get 25. This man got 27.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
which is crazy for a center when you think about it. But I mean, they have.
If you have the cap room,
but not even that. I'm talking about the center position.
Oh, for sure.
Is looked at like, okay, cool, but they determine the game a lot of times. Like if you're messing up, you're going to lose the game.
Listen, look, not to draw attention off the Raiders, but. Look at Chicago. Look at Caleb Williams' first year with an average center.
Yeah.
And that was an inconsistent center. And then last year they had Drew Dahlman before he abruptly retired. And hopefully everything is well with him because it's still kind of muddled on why he wanted to retire. But you saw the evolution you saw Caleb take that step. That center quarterback relationship is as important as anything on the field, especially from the offensive standpoint. So yeah, you have to, if you're going to draft Mendoza, which by all accounts is what the Raiders are going to do, you have to solidify that center position now to make his transition to the NFL that much easier, because the center calls the plays. He's calling out protections. He's got to see where the pressure is coming from, sliding coverages, sliding protection to the left or to the right. So it's a lot on the center. They have to be smart, athletic, and strong.
Yeah.
And being in lockstep with the quarterback. So, that was
the Ravens had to be looking like, wait, we basically traded 2 first-round picks and Linderbaum for Max Crosby.
Right.
It's like, we need to get some of this back.
Right. Meanwhile, and then
because when you look at that looks kind of crazy.
Very crazy. And then you hear the talk that they were looking at getting Max and Trey Hendrickson. And they're like, well, wait. You mean we could get Trey Hendrickson and not have to get to give up these picks? So because we're going to need this to kind of rebuild or fill out this
But
roster.
I think when they first got Max, I don't think they thought they were going to get Trey, especially a division rival. Like, or
there was some internet chatter from some of the some of the main ones, not some of the hit or miss ones.
I mean, that would have been deadly.
Yes, I mean, Max and Trey Hendrickson.
So I feel like if they knew they were going to sign him, why not just take the chance to keep Max? Like here's the thing, your physical isn't going to look good when you come off a surgery.
No,
it's not going to look good right
surgery,
now, right?
Like,
exactly. It's not going to. You knew that though when you traded for him.
That's why the NFL
is not going to look good. There's nothing there that could look good.
Yeah, that's why the NFL. If you look here around league circles, for the first time in ever, because remember the Ravens used to be, their organization was looked at as cream of the cream, top of the top. So now with this, with Ozzie Newsome, like his fingerprints over the Baltimore Ravens organization is pretty much not existent anymore, right? Now you're starting to see that reputation turn, and that's why a lot of people are not too happy with that this trade didn't go down, because other teams could have been in the mix to try to get Max Crosby.
Yeah.
That didn't get a chance to do that. Like the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys, like the Chicago Bears.
Talked about it. Yeah.
You mean you had Caleb Williams and Max on a podcast, basically creating a bromance right in front of everyone. And, Ryan Poles said that they had conversations and kind of left it at that, which is kind of weird because he's a little bit more forthcoming than that. But I think he's still ticked about the NFL not giving the compensation picks for the Ian Cunningham hire, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That is, that of all the things that I was watching this free agency, that's probably the biggest thing that, the Bears did exactly what I thought they were going to do, but with the compensation picks, you had a minority assistant general manager get elevated to a general manager, and you're supposed to get a 2, 3 round, third round picks.
Yeah.
And on a technicality, because Matt Ryan is the president, they don't get it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all. It's a bad look for the NFL. Just because even though Matt Ryan says, hey, he's running I'm just on the back end. He's running everything.
And here's the thing. The NFL doesn't mind the bad looks because they just brush them under the rug and move on.
Yeah.
So the bad look for the NFL is never bad enough for it to determine anything bad about the NFL. People are going to forget about it in a week.
True, but it slaps in the face of what the Rooney Rule and the whole
definitely
what it was originally thought of. Yeah. But again, that's like the one thing of free agency I was frustrated with. But this free agency has been crazy in general, like some of the moves and still some of the people that are still out there.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people out there. A lot of vets, a lot of. Even some of these young guys, but like you said, it's a lot of 1-year deals. Mm-hmm. So, are we going to be seeing more of that? What have the Bears done this offseason? You lost DJ Moore.
Yep.
Which I was a little surprised about that, but I've also heard some stuff like he's not good in the locker room.
So I won't say that. DJ is one of those. DJ is he's not Max Crosby as far as like going 110%. 10%. I'm not saying that as a pejorative. What I am saying, though, is that man will play hurt. He does every little thing for him. This is the most winning DJ Moore has done in his career since high school. He's been on a losing team all through college, all through the Carolinas, and then his time with Chicago up until this year. The problem with DJ Moore was once they drafted Luther Burden last year, I was talking to Trey, and I was talking on the podcast I was on, that's, we're on hiatus right now, but I said that's a warning shot across the bow to DJ Moore.
Yeah,
because he was already coming off walking off the field in Arizona in the middle of the play, and so with Luther developing, with Caleb,
and then he was walking off the field in overtime when Caleb was throwing them the ball.
Yeah, that was that look that. So I want to give DJ.
Which everybody was tired, but he did not look like he ran the route he was supposed to run.
Well, it depends on who you want to believe. So one of the things I looked at beforehand, I want to always look back to plays beforehand, and those couple plays before that's when he got his bell rang. He got Caleb threw a murder ball.
Yeah.
And so there's he could have been, I think he was a little bit hurt or maybe concussed. And they had already, Colson Loveland was already out because he had caught that one and hit his head on the ground. He was already out. And so they had lost another receiver. So I think DJ
But as a player and as coaches, you have to let your players know, like, look, I'm not feeling good. I could be out there as a decoy right now. Don't throw the ball to me because I'm not going to be able to catch it.
Absolutely. But that's
still on the player to me.
It was not a good look no matter which way you slice it. The options were bad. But the biggest thing he had 700 yards, which is the worst of his career, worst of his time with the Bears, and $28 million on the cap.
Yeah.
So you had to do something.
I think it's very good for Buffalo. Buffalo needed a good wide receiver. I think he's wide receiver number 1 for them. He should be. No, he is, and that's the issue with DJ. DJ has to be wide receiver 1. Yeah.
In Ben Johnson's offense, he wasn't. He outside. Only time he got the ball was when Rome went down.
Yeah.
But even if you look at the games that they won, Colson Loveland became the number one. When it was that time in the playoffs, he was going to Colson Loveland like a lot. So you got Colson, you got Rome, you got Burden. You signed, Khalif Raymond from the Detroit Lions, who is going to fit that 700-yard kind of third receiver.
And Lions seem to lose a lot of people without picking anyone up. That's not a good look for Detroit.
But again, it's when this just happens. And again, the thing with Detroit, as we stay in the NFC North, their biggest loss over the past 2 years was losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
So when you lose those two, you lose your top 2 lieutenants, and then you bring someone in and you fire midway through the year as an offensive coordinator or demote them. You're going to take a step back.
Yeah.
So, it's the Bears overall in the NFC. The NFC North is I'll tell you the move that as I stay on the NFC North before I go back to the Bears. The move that I was scared of just happened a couple of days ago. Kyler Murray with Kevin O'Connell. I listen. That's the one place I did not
stand on his shoulders. I don't understand the.
No, see, Kevin again a mobile quarterback who can actually throw the ball like JJ McCarthy. Here's what I know: JJ McCarthy. We all knew was not the quarterback.
I talked about this with my boy Angel on his podcast this morning that they did here. And I'll ask you the question, is Kyler Murray a top 15 quarterback? Because one of them was saying he's top 15.
No.
And then I went through all the quarterbacks, and I'm like, so you just named 20 quarterbacks better than him?
No, I would say right now he's not. But he has the giftings of a top 15. I'll say he's got the talent and the potential of a top 15 to top 10.
I just don't. I've never really been that high on him. He's had a couple years. I think Minnesota made a huge mistake, and they're trying to make up for it this year by signing someone like him.
Yeah.
They made a mistake last year by thinking like JJ's going to miss a year due to injury and then automatically become the starter when we already have other quarterbacks on the team that we could sign to 1-year deals. They didn't have to sign them long term.
Right.
Darnold, maybe you might have had to sign Sam Darnold to
That's
a 2
mistake.
or 3 year contract, but maybe do that. And guess what? Make him the backup if JJ just kills it. But we don't know what JJ was going to be, right?
To hand him that spot was crazy, bro.
And he had some good moments, but he wasn't ready. And to not have another quarterback that you are like, okay, I have to play really good because there's a vet that can easily take over. Yeah. He didn't have that all season.
Right.
I mean, Carson Wentz, he gets hurt by eating Cheerios.
Well.
So they made a big mistake last year. They had Daniel Jones on the team. They had Sam Darnold on the team. They let both of them go. Didn't even attempt to sign them, and just put all their
eggs in
JJ's basket. Yeah. And it backfired, and now they're trying to make up for that this year. But if JJ would have had one of them to play behind all year last year and maybe get some starts if they go down, then I think this year he would have been able, this coming season, he would have been able to be that man. But you could really ruin a quarterback's career by how you start his career.
I 100% with you, but that's why I say, because if you think about it, going back to that.
And I'm a Michigan fan. I don't think JJ is going to be a great quarterback. I think he could have a long career.
He's a Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I think he could have a long career. I think he could be a good backup. I think he could start some games and win games for you in a backup role. But I personally don't see him being a superstar. I am a starter for 10-year quarterback. I don't.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. So because remember, Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, when they signed with Minnesota, they weren't what they are now.
No.
That's why I'm concerned about, and you could say Sam Darnold now is Super Bowl champion, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You know that Kyler, from a talent standpoint, are better than both of those quarterbacks. Would you agree to that?
No.
You don't think? Okay.
I am one of the few people on earth that has always liked Daniel Jones and hated their offensive line because he never got a chance. And so everyone's saying how bad he is, but I'm like, if you look at their offensive line, we don't know how good or bad he is.
But you can say the same thing about Kyler, though, with Arizona. Like, what did he? I mean, yes, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. there, but again,
they never clicked. They never clicked, and then he missed a lot of games too.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
He was in his second year last year, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So they played a lot their first year, and then last year both of them were hurt most of the season.
But that's what I'm saying. Kyler with Kevin O'Connell, I feel
like Kyler's always hurt too, though.
Yeah, that's a.
Listen, I hope he proves me wrong because I like him as a person.
I just am scared with those raw tools, and we've seen what Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. And so, from a talent standpoint, I think Kyler's more talented than both of those.
But he didn't do that with JJ.
I don't think.
I know it's a rookie, but
I don't think. But we both agree JJ is not. JJ was overdrafted. JJ, again, Mitch Trubisky
won national championship, so it overhypes the player.
Yeah, but he wasn't the reason. That was Adrian Hutchinson and the rest of that Michigan roster that was running the ball and defense.
Yeah.
So it wasn't JJ.
But what I'm saying is you see that it's a big name. His name's being talked about all the time, and so sometimes you do get overrated by how far you go in the playoffs.
JJ is a long list of the Chris Leaks. You remember Chris Leak back in Florida?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the old
There's
Ohio
a whole
State. I mean,
we could sit here and name 20 quarterbacks in 10 seconds that were overrated and
they got drafted.
Looked like they were going to be great.
But that's where you have to go on.
Heisman Trophy winners.
Yes. Like
that did nothing in the NFL.
None. So that's why I said I think Kyler has I didn't want to see that in there in the division, but overall, I mean, the NFC North.
Do you think Jefferson's happy about that?
I think we'll see. That's the next, because you always look at the next domino.
Because
right?
if this fails,
he's out.
Let's say Kyler starts, which I think he should be the starter, unless he just has a horrible, training camp and all that, right? I think he should be the starter going in. If that's a failed experiment, if they go 0-4, I think
he's going to ask for a trade.
He's going to ask for a trade because I feel like he was close to asking for a trade last year, and I almost think he should have.
Yeah, but we know the top receivers. They have a window. It's like it's a ticking clock, and we're about if it doesn't get right, he's gonna fall just like Diggs.
Yeah,
and be on his way out.
Yep.
And then that's gonna be the question: where does he go next?
Has Diggs got signed?
Not that I'm aware of.
Which he had a really good year. I was actually kind of surprised New England let him go.
Yeah, but that was I would call that a marriage of convenience more than we actually, like each other. That was just like, it's just working right now type vibe.
So he's going to go to another team and look into the crowd as the other team celebrates.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, who's going to pick him up? Tennessee's had a very good offseason.
Yes. Dropped some fire uniforms. They dropped.
I mean, did they drop fire uniforms?
Okay,
because they're talking about. And look, I love the uniforms. Like, absolutely love the uniforms. But they're talking about we're gonna have new uniforms. They're not new. They took the Oilers uniforms.
Yeah.
And they wore those anyways every once in a while.
Which low key people in Houston are ticked about.
Yeah. I mean, because Houston, Texas, were trying to be the Houston Oilers. A lot of people don't know that. Tennessee Titans were like, no, we're not giving up, because it was a bad breakup.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of stuff going on. But listen, I love those uniforms. I'm glad they're using them. But it's not like, oh, surprise, here's something brand new. It's like, surprise, here's the throwbacks we wear every 2 years.
Well, listen, they got a new stadium that's supposed to be built or being built. So they're
Are they building their stadium in Indiana also? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, let's not.
The Indiana Bears.
Let's bump it. We talk about it now.
No, go back to Tennessee.
I think Tennessee. I think, again, just another team. When you have a lot of cash, you're trying to build up the foundation of the league. I'm not the league. Sorry, of that team. You're just trying to build it up. They had a lot of signings. I can't remember. They got. I know they got the big one was from the defensive tackle.
Well, they started with signing a great coach, which I'm really mad about. But I wanted Salah to be there to be our defensive coordinator for at least 2 years. But we got Raheem Morris, so I'm not like too upset because I like Raheem Morris a lot. But I wanted Salah to be there for at least 2 years. But with him being as good as he is, he was going to get picked up. But I think that's a great coach to have. And then with Cam being there, I think they're gonna they have good draft picks. So
John Franklin Myers was a great. You
got to draft a wide receiver, right, for Cam.
Yeah. There's
some good receivers in this draft,
I think this draft is deep at receiver.
But here's the problem. It could be one of those drafts. Remember when it was CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy? We're like, man, this is deep. And now Jeudy is horrible. Brandon Ayuk is MIA.
CeeDee's still good.
CeeDee's balling. But what I'm saying is, we were like, whoever you get, you're going to be good with.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And this draft kind of feels the same way, where you got a lot of good wide receivers that you feel like you can't go wrong with any of them, but one of them could end up being a head case like Brandon.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. They got to get him some weapons, because you got to make the decision soon if Cam's really going to be the quarterback, right? And the only way you're going to find out is give him some weapons.
Yeah.
I've never understood that when people they draft a quarterback and they don't give him, they're like, oh, you have to be great right away, and you have to make this fifth receiver on the depth chart be your number one receiver. Well, tell me where that works at. That only works if you're Tom Brady. Outside of that, you got to have him. You got to give a quarterback weapons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they have to find some weapons.
Let's go to some of Tennessee's moves. Speaking of Mitch Trubisky, he signed there.
MVP at the bank.
But
sir.
listen, man, cool backup. That's a good backup for Cam. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Shocked he left.
I like that move a lot.
I'm shocked he left New York.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's a lot there. New York's pretty stacked.
Yeah. But again, that's a good receiver because he's gadgety. You can move him around a lot, and getting stuff out of the slot.
Yeah, I like that move a lot for them.
I also liked Alontae Taylor. That was something I thought the Bears were going to be looking at getting because he has ties to Dennis Allen. So that was a good pick. But other than that, I mean, their biggest signing to me was getting Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll. Having Brian Daboll as your offensive coordinator, now you're going to see if he can get the most out of
good
Cam.
OC. I don't know how he lasted so long as a head coach in New York.
Listen,
he had dirt on somebody there.
Because I tell you what, watching that game with him when because the Giants should have beat the Bears. Jackson Dart was giving the Bears fits, and it was like, I don't know what happened, but I think Brian Daboll was like, he got a text message something during the game, and they were like, yeah, if you don't win this game, you're fired. And he's just like, all right, well, the SpongeBob meme. All right, let me head out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, but Brian Daboll is one of those guys that I think is, like a Dennis Allen, like so many names before them, that's a better coordinator than the head coach.
Yeah.
And so,
and hopefully that's not Salah's case, but anytime Jets are never a good indication of who you're going to be as a coach or a player.
No.
So I think this is a good thing for him being in Tennessee. I think Cam's going to have a really good year because he looked really good. He made a lot of mistakes, but he didn't really have anyone to throw to.
No.
That offensive line looked like they did not want to be there. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad there. But I think I don't know how many first round draft picks they have, but I know they got a lot of draft picks.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, they're a team I want to keep because I think you're about to see a shift in their division, right? Because you got Tennessee. It's Tennessee. Houston's I still think is going to be there, but it's Tennessee, Houston, Jacksonville, and who am I missing? Who's in that South? Missing somebody.
Colts.
The Colts. So I think if Tennessee is patient, I think they're going to be one of those teams that in a year or two we're going to be like, dang, where'd they come from? Yeah. Well, they just been building.
I think they're going to have a cool year next year because just talking about the South, I feel like it's still up for grabs.
Yeah, I think Houston.
It's not.
I think Houston and the Colts are the clear head of the division, but it's not that
Houston's
gap.
So iffy though because of their quarterback.
I agree, but
they might have to make a quarterback change soon.
But
CJ looking a little rough last year.
Well,
he had a great rookie year, but he's if last year was his rookie year, he wouldn't have made it to a second year.
This is what happens to those rookie quarterbacks that get or any quarterback that comes on real good at first, right? Once the league gets enough tape on you, it's the counterpunch.
Yeah.
And so how much are you working on your deficiencies in the offseason?
Yeah.
We're going to find out. But also this is going to be the question too, when you have defensive like Robert Saleh, like I can't think of the coach down in Houston's name right now. He was a former
DeMeco.
Yeah, DeMeco Ryan.
Yeah.
Again, we have a defensive coach, and your offensive coordinator leaves.
Yeah.
How does that affect your quarterback? So if you, that's why I'm a big believer in having we're big believers in having offensive minded coaches because it's easier to fill a defensive coordinator spot than offensive coordinator spot.
And you don't have to, as a head coach, you don't have to worry about the defense as much at all.
Right.
Tennessee's draft picks, they do have one in the first round, the fourth pick. Second, third, fourth, fifth. They have 2 5ths and 2 6th-round picks. So they have 9 overall. So they have a lot of picks. So they have and the second-round pick is a high pick still because they were so horrible. But I am picking Tennessee Titans next season to not finish last in the division. They'll finish third.
Okay.
I think one of these teams is going to fall off. I think it could be the Colts.
Let me ask you one question. Do you think what's another good thing for what's a godsend for a young quarterback?
A wide receiver.
Or what else?
O-line.
Okay.
Center.
Good
Latina.
Oh God. A good running back. So what if a guy like what if they go Jeremiah Love? To pair with Cam Ward?
Possibly.
Just throwing it out there.
Possibly.
I'm a Notre Dame fan, but Jeremiah Love is the truth.
Yeah.
I think whatever team gets him is going to be like Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0, but bigger. But bigger. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be interesting on that. All
right, let's talk about the Indiana Bears. What's going on with that? Because I think they put a deadline to the end of the month to figure all that out. Are they just faking the funk, or is this something real where they could really have a stadium in Indiana and call them the Chicago Bears?
Yeah. So yes, but no. So so let me say this first: the line between where the Northwest Indiana in Chicago, they're still on Lake Michigan. It's actually Northwest Indiana, the Hammond, Gary, Indiana area is closer to Soldier Field. It's like 25 minutes away compared to the 45 minutes away where they have the land in Arlington Heights. I think all of this is a political ploy. You need the Bears weren't even really on the politicians' radar in Chicago until they made this real plea for Northwest Indiana. Now, I honestly think this is too good of a deal to pass up for Northwest Indiana. However, knowing George McCaskey, just seeing how he moves and operates, I think he's trying to find any reason for them not to move and to move into into Arlington Heights. Because here's the thing, this all comes down to money, right?
Yeah.
So if I believe that the Bears ownership, because you have all nieces and nephews of McCaskey, they want to sell.
Yeah.
You can't sell the Bears at the highest if you're renting space in Northwest Indiana. It'd be no different than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
However, if they build in Arlington Heights and build their villa, right? Because they have 340 acres just chilling, leveled, literally ready for to be built. They just need help with infrastructure, which the state of Illinois has said they will do. It's just they're arguing over tax certainty.
Yeah.
So once they figure that out, I still believe they're going to build in Arlington Heights. But if they move to Northwest Indiana, it's just because it's too good of a deal to pass up. But again, I believe that they want to get this going so they eventually can sell the team off.
Yeah.
And so I think this is all just political theater, just playing out in public.
Yeah.
So
all right.
That's what I believe.
There you have it, folks. That's the NFL. We're about to close out here, but before we do, let's jump into the NBA and what happened this week. The Lakers beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
But Bulls are missing like 5 of their best players. You're missing a lot of players that game.
Bro.
You guys are definitely tanking.
Yes. 4 years too late, but yes.
Yeah. Made some weird moves.
Yes.
In trade deadline, me and you were texting about that. Getting rid of Kobe. I like Kobe White a lot. But hey.
Again, they were. It's called pick a lane.
You traded a lot of really good players and didn't get a lot back for them the past few years.
That's the issue. And if you look at that, again, we've talked about this for years. I think this might have been one of our first conversations we've had, but the thing that the Bulls have in common with the White Sox is their ownership.
Yeah.
And which is Jerry Reinsdorf. And shout out to Jerry. He's still living off the legacy that is Michael Jordan.
Yep.
And you hired Arturas Karnisovas, and he's not. I never thought I would be pining for the days of Gar Paxson to come back. And that's if you look at the track record.
Yeah.
Gar Pax got you Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You know, they were in the playoffs, like legit in the playoffs the last time underneath there, not just to play in there.
Yeah. And
since the Lonzo Ball injury, like it hasn't worked out. You've got rid of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White, Vucevic, and you have gotten not one your only first round pick you've gotten back was the one that you traded away anyway. So you got your own back.
Yeah.
That's it. It's crazy. That's a fireable offense. But
then when you look at Zach LaVine and DeRozan in Sacramento, they can't win a game. I mean,
I'm sorry. Let me add another one. Alex Caruso.
That was a huge one.
You
had a team that looked like they could have won the East just not that long ago. Like 3 or 4, about 4
years ago. Yeah. And to be at this point now, it's as a long, as a diehard Bull fan, it's disheartening. But the problem is the United Center still packed.
Yeah.
They're still the top 3 in attendance, so it's not going to change.
Yeah.
The only time it changes is when the masses say, I'm not going to go spend my hard-earned money with the Bulls. Then they start making changes. Or it's a national embarrassment like what happened when we held pre-COVID, remember that, when they had the All-Star game there and they're on the ESPN and they're chanting, fire Garpax. Then they made the move. So until something like that happens, we're going to get nothing but the same. Here, you know what's crazy? Think about this. Do you know that crazy game last year when the Bulls beat the Lakers on that half-court heave?
Yep.
That game, they won that moment, right? But that game cost them Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Because that game, they tied with Dallas Mavericks and they lost the coin flip. Had they lost that game, there wouldn't have been no coin flip. They would have just had Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Yeah, but the way the NBA set it up with
Well,
the
of course.
Luka trade,
Yeah, I mean, we knew it.
Could've,
Yeah, the wink, wink. You know, but I'm just saying, in general,
but yeah, I mean,
in general, it's a rudderless ship, and it's sad because the Chicago Bulls fans. Listen, they've been living the two things that they've been living off of: Michael Jordan, the retirement. Derrick Rose has had 2 retirement specials.
Yeah.
You know,
they just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it. Like he's gonna remember when Derrick came back. Yeah. Like that's gonna be the next thing that they do. Like it's just wild.
Maybe they need to bring him back to play. Come out of retirement.
No, bro.
One more game.
Listen.
Maybe the last game of every season they bring Derrick Rose back.
I will say that I'm being dead honest right now. I have watched only one Chicago Bulls game this past season. And it was the Derrick Rose retirement night because it meant so much to the city. Derrick Rose, I mean, shout out to Trey. I remember he was watching it. Me and my brother were watching it because that was like my brother who played in the Chicagoland area in high school. Like Derrick Rose is like for a Bulls generation, like they're Michael Jordan, and so. That was a very emotional night to see Taj be, and Taj is such a New York dude.
And Derrick Rose is from Chicago and everything.
It's one of our own. So like that night was a great night, but outside of that, I have no interest in watching. I'm good.
It's hard.
I would rather watch a White Sox.
It's hard to watch anyways. You'd rather watch the White Sox?
I would rather watch. No, I would watch the White Sox. I would rather watch White Sox than the Chicago Bulls by far.
That's crazy because neither team wins.
Exactly.
I'd rather watch Cactus League spring training than watch Bam Adebayo shoot 43 free throws. So let's close out with this.
Yeah.
I was not watching basketball that day. I was filming, doing UFC stuff with one of my fighters that's actually fighting.
Speaking of which, you have a UFC. You can't leave without giving that that tease. You got to pay off that tease.
Oh yeah.
But go ahead, continue.
So I'm out eating later and I see on the TV at the bar that I'm eating at, Bam 43. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm upset right away because I'm like, yo, he passed Kobe. So I'm upset about that part, right?
As you should.
But then when I went home and I watched the highlights, I was disgusted. Like I woke up the next day still like feeling disgusted.
Nauseous.
And that's bad when you let sports affect you that much. But when I saw the highlights and I saw what he did in the first half, I'm like, yo, he's balling. First quarter, 31 points or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, all right, Bam's balling. You know, how did he get 83? Because after the first quarter, they were up. They were up by 11 after the first. I'm like, okay, this game's going to be a blowout. They were up by 15 at halftime. They were up by almost 20 after the third. So it's like, okay, you pull your player after that. Like, this is typical NBA. You let them play a couple more minutes in the fourth. It's getting out of hand. You pull your starters.
Right.
You do the right thing. When I saw the last 4 minutes of that game, the highlights, and they're fouling the other team. You're up by 20-something, and you're fouling the other team to get the ball back.
Right.
So you can pass the ball to Bam, and they're like, well, they're triple teaming him. Of course he's getting fouled. And it's like anytime you know no one else is going to shoot, you triple team the guy.
Right.
The refs were ready and waiting to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
So they were waiting to call the foul. 43 free throws should never be shot by any player in any NBA game. I think that was disgusting.
Yep.
I don't blame Bam. I blame Eric Spoelstra for not taking him out.
Yeah.
Even when he hit 81, just be happy with the tie. But 83, I mean, I just don't think you don't keep a player in that long. There's plenty of opportunities Kobe had to stay in games to score more. Luka could have stayed in. I think when he had 73, I'm pretty sure they were up. He could have stayed in. Joel Embiid had a 70-something game that he could have stayed in. So what's going to happen now and why I'm so disgusted is because now all these players that are way better scorers than Bam are going to be like, yo, if Bam can do it, you got to keep me in the game. Mm-hmm. If I have 60 going into the fourth, I don't care if we're up by 20, I'm going to try to pass this. So what we're going to see, even when Devin Booker did that, a lot of people don't know this game because it was against Boston. They were getting blown out. Boston had quit playing defense, and Phoenix just kept dishing him the ball in the fourth quarter. He played the whole fourth quarter to get 70
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that, to me, was disgusting because you're getting these stats that aren't the real stats. It's not within the flow of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And to me, that whole watching those highlights, I was absolutely disgusted by what I saw.
I could not agree with you more. As it sound like Stephen A. said, I couldn't agree with you more. It's tragic that NBA's turned into 2K.
And I blame Adam Silver for a lot of this too, because he allows this kind of NBA to happen where it's like, hey, just entertain us. We don't care about the integrity of the game. We've seen him change the All-Star game every single year. It didn't work this year. Let's switch up the whole thing, which I actually did like the format this year.
Yeah, the format this year was...
The format was cool.
Although,
we don't need the world. I did. We don't need the world. Just do East versus West and have like a better format or whatever, or just have incentives to make them play, or just deal with the fact that one year the game's going to be bad, the next year it might be close.
Right.
But he's done so many changes, and he's always trying to change it. The only change I care that he makes before he gets fired is Vegas and Seattle getting a team.
Yeah.
And then we can get rid of them.
Yeah. Which, yes, the gamer in me would love for that to happen. I want Vegas to get Vegas is going to get an NBA franchise. Like it just has to.
It's going to be voted on and announced this summer.
Great, because it needs to. Vegas Seattle
deserves their team back.
Yes. So yeah, it's bad, bro. The only time the NBA is worth watching is the playoffs have been cool because it goes back to, you know what it is? It goes back to being what we grew up with, like 90s, 2000s era, because it's a little bit more physical. It's not this, again, high scoring thing that's been going on, but it's just, I have never in my life been this disinterested in basketball. And it's with NBA basketball.
And that was happening last year too. I remember being on this show and I was talking about how NBA is unwatchable and it's just like the ratings were bad. And then the Luka trade happened and that got everyone excited again. And as a Laker fan, I like Luka. I don't like watching him every game. It's not like Kobe where it's like, I got to watch every game, because sometimes you watch the game and it's like he takes a crazy shot. He flails his body around, he misses, and you see 4 Lakers go this way, and Luka's still over here yelling at a ref every single time down the floor. And
sound
now
like a Maverick fan right now.
I understand why the Mavericks might have let him go and were frustrated with him.
The frustrated, they should never let him go.
Shouldn't have let him go for that.
Right.
But I could see why you could be frustrated with a player like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's again this era of player, and I hate to sound like the old head, but it is what it is right now, and I don't see it getting any,
because they're getting paid and don't have to work for it. Once you get to the NBA, like obviously there's work, right? But as far as in comparison to being the old head, the older players that love the game so much that they were playing hard for,
right,
and hard to make that money, and now it's like you're giving average people contracts that Michael Jordan didn't even see.
When you have a guy like Patrick Williams getting $18 million, and knowing that that's $9 million less, or $9 to $10 to $12 million less than what Michael Jordan got.
Yeah.
Now,
obviously there's more money going on.
Yeah,
and
and
stuff
I
like
get that. But it's monopoly. It's all monopoly.
A lot
money
of these players feel entitled.
Yeah,
it feels like they feel entitled. And
it doesn't. It's not about, and it's not. I'm not going to say this is all LeBron's fault with the super, because the super teams have been going on. We've had this conversation since the late, in a certain instance, since the late 70s. So if you look at those great Celtics and Lakers teams, they're riddled with Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just so, there's so much movement. The players don't, Kobe's and the Tim Duncans are playing every night, giving it their all. They're not there anymore.
I feel like there's some players that still do that, but it's just the way the game is. They want it to be such an offensive game that, like, I'm sorry, but I like Shea, but it's becoming the James Harden thing where now every single play is a foul.
Yeah.
You can't play defense on him because you want him to score. You want him to be the face.
And
Wembanyama, I love him. I think,
yes.
But he's
playing
one of the only players that plays defense.
Yeah.
And I actually love watching. Anytime OKC versus Spurs comes on, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
That's a guaranteed game I'm going to watch because those are two teams that are very equal, whole bunch of hungry young players, and when they play each other, they're all at the top of their game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, on the TV now is Washington Wizards and Celtics. I have no care.
No.
I just have League Pass.
Well,
so a game's going to end up coming on the TV.
Here's the thing, and I'm stealing it from our guy, Jason Goff, and because it's so true. He said this once. I was like, dang it, he's right. He's hardly wrong, by the way, but he's right about this. Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fight, and every team is doing the same thing, so there's no different. It's just like, if you think about it, like, take it to music, like hip hop. We grew up in an era where the West Coast sound, you knew a West Coast sound. You knew a South sound. You knew an East Coast sound. You knew an Atlanta sound.
And that's how the NBA used to be.
That's how exactly.
East and West, they played
differently. But now everyone is this high octane up tempo, shoot a bunch of threes.
The reason Lakers and Celtics was such a big deal is because it's two totally different cities, two big cities that function two totally different ways.
Yep.
And their players reflected that. You had Hollywood with the Lakers, and you had the hardworking, grunted out Celtics.
Right.
And that's why it was a rivalry, and that's why people could take a side and go so hard like it's politics.
Right.
Because it's like, I either hate or love this Hollywood style. I either hate or love this hard, grinded out, blue-collar style.
And we don't have that no more.
Don't have it.
And so when everything looks the same, and you can see that even across the landscape, in even music, or even sometime in the movie formula, like when everything looks the same, you lose. Everyone loses because you need creativity and differences need to be shown so that way you can give, again, more styles. I don't want to see the same UFC or boxing fight that the same. You got to see different styles. I want to see a southpaw, right? Yeah. I want to see a bruiser. I want to see a technician. If everyone's a technician, then it doesn't appeal to me. So I think that's where the NBA needs to, and I think it will, because even if you look at, like, I shout out to Denver a couple years ago. They were a throwback team that won. You had a classic five and a classic four. You had them keeping teams off the glass, right? So I hope. My hope is that we have it. Things are cyclical, so hopefully those things will kind of come back in vogue where it'll be a little bit more post-presence.
But you have to have the league wanting things to change, and they messed up by just letting teams jack up the three and create that.
Bring back the hand check. You bring back the hand check.
Bring back defense where you could actually play hard defense, where not everything's a foul, only on the star players.
Yeah.
Just needs to be something changed.
Lastly, what about making the NBA like play? Because remember, like, if you look at the playoffs the last few years, the foul percentages, they swallowed the whistles. It went back to being, and that made it more enjoyable to watch.
Playoffs are a lot better, but I could watch the playoffs.
Yeah,
but even that, there's some playoff series where it's like blowouts and just not.
But I'm saying more so the physicality, again, blowing the whistle, like you said, letting them play. I think if you do that, and that could garner some more stylistic changes, and hopefully you get the league, a better league. But right now it's unfortunate. But I do hope, and I'm looking forward to when Seattle and Vegas gets the franchises they deserve.
Yes, sir.
But hey, it's been a pleasure, bro. I love doing this. These are the days where. It just is. I'm, like I say, super proud of you. What you've done with the studio looks amazing. And anytime I get to come in town and just chop it up with you about whatever, is love. So, and then I'm sure we'll hang soon when you come out to the Dallas.
I still want to come out there. I still have stuff I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. And always making my second home. Always make me feel loved, making me always feel like I'm gone but not forgotten.
Yes, sir.
So appreciate it. Shout out to everyone that tuned in, all my peeps. Shout out to my family. And then lastly, again, shout out to my lovely wife who's stayed here this whole time and has not been like, she the fact that she gets to get to see me do this, because one of the things that when I knew she was just the dopest is when I actually was on when you were at the old place, and and she was just seeing me do the show, and she was like, the way you light up by doing what you do, because I love
it's fun.
This media, I love this. I love just having conversation. I love sports media or just media in general, and so just for her always supporting me, whether it's on this or on the podcast, which will be relaunching hopefully soon.
Okay.
You got to, he had to step aside to continue to be the best dad he's possible, and I'm so proud of him for doing that. But me, Shep, and Trey and Daz will be coming back with a new pod soon. I would like to release the name of it, but I don't want to just yet because I don't want no one to steal the idea, because I don't think
you
no
can't
one's
give
doing
the
it.
name out before.
But I would like to set the table for you as I've got to sign off, but I want to set the table for you because you got a tease for the folks. So you got to pay off the tease,
We've
bro.
done a couple episodes on his channel, but me and Jamal Hill, it's called What You Think Podcast. So
there it is.
Subscribe right now because we don't have it. Wait, I'm not even subscribed. I think we just got our first subscriber, but it's at What You Think Podcast on YouTube. So subscribe to that, and on Instagram it's at What You Think Podcast. So me and UFC light heavyweight former champion, future champion Jamal Hill. He's in recovery right now, so he should be fighting again sometime soon. Well, not soon, but sometime this year. But anyways, we're going to be starting a podcast, and we're going to be discussing sports and other things. It's not just about sports, but we're going to be doing some social topics and trending topics and funny stuff. And we have some cool conversations lined up. I think our first one is going to be, we got some boxers coming in, some professional boxers.
Ooh.
And we're going to talk about MMA versus boxing, who would win, because there's a lot of that talk going on the internet, but we've never had I haven't seen it talked about in the same room with a boxer and a UFC fighter. And I got my man Coach Larry Wade. He coaches with Jake Paul right now, so he'll be in the studio with us on that episode. So make sure you guys tune in. I think we're going to be recording this week, and so it'll be out soon after that. I got my man Tash from Alcoholics. He wants to get on. So we're going to have a lot of people on the show. And then me and him are just going to discuss things, helping him set up a little studio at his house. So when breaking news happens, like Bam scoring 83, we can just get online real quick and do a nightcap style podcast and just go live. But a lot of our stuff will be recorded, and then we'll be doing a lot of live. So just trying to build the channel, grow it like that, and just keep going.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a wonderful job, man. And like I said, continue growth and blessings. Like I said, I'm looking forward to hopefully being a part of Gorilla Cross Studios Part 2. South. Representing that dirty South, right? And representing that Dallas, Texas. So
yeah, hopefully, man. Let's hopefully me and Jamal make money off this podcast and can just pay for it. Pay for it straight from the podcast.
That'll be super.
But yeah, man. Hopefully, I am going to come out there soon. Maybe even next month.
Yeah.
Kind of look around again. Just
it's a changing landscape in Dallas. Like there's just it's
because it's been 3 years now, I think, since I've been out there, which I was coming out like almost every year.
Yeah.
Actually, twice a year. When I was really trying to get it out there, but yeah, man.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you holding me down and letting me come through and get these takes off, because it's been a minute since I cracked the mic.
Yeah, man. And I'll have to get you on again. I'm going to be doing Unnamed Sports Show 2 more with NBA playoffs coming up. So
and I'll make sure my internet connection is a lot more
man, get
stable.
that internet connection.
This is the problem being out in the country, bro. Like
but it can still look like this.
No, I know.
Get a better camera.
I know. Yeah,
buy yourself a camera for your anniversary.
Well, hopefully I can go win a new camera at these tables. Well, actually, I want, a little something here, and a little juice money, a little pocket change. So
we gotta go. She's already looking at me crazy. Trying to spend your money.
No,
we're out.
Peace.